this video is to show you how to do some vibrato exercises. They do come in lots of stages, and sort of you make sure you go between the stages. So master the first one, move on to the second. If you're finding that hard, then go back a stage. Make sure that everything stays loose. The main thing that we're trying to aim for is to reduce tension or to have no tension at all in the arm while you're learning to do this, and only the student will know if they've got any tension in their arm. So if at any stage they're getting tension, they go back a stage, back a stage, back a stage till the tension's gone, and then you move forwards again. So it takes about 2 months, maybe 3, for a vibrato to come through into the playing, and the exercises need to be done fairly regularly, just to get used to the idea of looseness and not being in control of their arm. Okay, so vibrato is the rock that we do when we play with our finger on our note, and it gives the note a sort of full tone. Okay, so the first exercise is from the shoulder. So imagine your collarbone going across. So feel your collarbone and feel the shoulder joint there, and the arm needs to flop really loosely. Imagine that the top of the shoulder is like a hook and the arm is like a string of sausages, and there's a dog that's got the end of the string of sausages and they're pulling and trying to get it loose. So it's really sort of like you're shaking your arm off, and it shouldn't be tight, like trying to shake. You've got to imagine as if somebody else is shaking your arm and you actually have no control over it, and it's just all floppy and loose. So probably a week of walking around looking a bit daft and making this arm go as floppy as possible. Your left arm, obviously, this is reversed when you're watching it. So then once you've got used to having that floppiness, you hold the violin in guitar pose and you let the arm hang loose from the shoulder. So the elbow's really loose, the upper arm is loose, it's not trying to grip, and you put the thumb on the top of the fingerboard and you polish the violin back and forwards. So the temptation will be to lock the elbow into the side and just polish with the upper arm. And what we want is for the whole arm to swing from the shoulder joint and to just be really loose, and we're just polishing really gently all the way up to the top of the fingerboard, down to the bottom. The thumb is loose along the top, and the thumb is moving with the whole hand and the top of the arm. Now if the top of the arm gets tight at this stage 2, you go back to stage 1. Shake it out, try and keep that looseness, and then we polish the top of the violin. Again, probably another week on this stage, just making sure everything can stay loose and relaxed. So stage 3 is that imagine there's a tiny bit of blue tack on the neck of the violin. So as the thumb is going up and back, suddenly it focuses in on one point, and the top of the arm stays loose and the rest of the arm keeps wobbling as if it wants to keep polishing, but because the thumb is sort of stuck with blue tack, it ends up swinging below the violin. Then you pick one of your fingers, probably the second finger or the third finger, to act as a counter balance to the thumb. And again, imagine there's a tiny bit of blue tack, nothing more sticky than that, and you just keep the arm wobble going and the hand just rocks between the thumb and the finger. Okay, and the finger should be loose and the arm keeps going. So again, you've got to make sure you don't lock the top of the arm. So we go back to stage 1, stage 2, big polish, keep everything loose, and then you focus in and then you rock on just one finger. And again, if you're going, you go back, big polish, and it all's really loose, and then you just rock in on one point, and the arm should just be able to keep rocking and hanging from the violin, and the thumb stays loose and the finger stays loose, and you don't have to sort of stay in a fixed point. It's just sort of an approximate rocking on a little area, and then you go back into the pig and then shake it out, and then polishing, and then blue tack. Okay, so again, a week using those 3, and then stage 4 is where once you've got a sort of polished bit there, then you lift up the violin onto the collarbone and support the weight of the violin with the other hand, and just let the arm hang from the finger and the thumb and try and keep that rock going. Now, if you're trying to grab the violin with the shoulder, that arm is going to lock. So to support the weight of the violin with the shoulder with the other hand, and you can even go through the stages like this one. So stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 is the blue tack, and you end up with a rocking action of the hand. Now when that's feeling nice and loose, and big polish and rock, then you can start taking away this hand and letting the vibrato be supported by itself. But again, when you do that, there will be tension, so you take it back to right to the beginning, polish, rocking, take the hand away. Now I'm doing this without a shoulder rest, so actually it's quite hard. So generally putting the head weight down on the violin, not grabbing it, just put the head weight to twist the head, relax the head onto the violin, should support the weight of the violin, and then the hand is free to do the vibrato, or somebody else can support the weight of the scroll while they're doing it. Now the last bit, sorry I got my violin for this bit, is to put the bow on the string. Now we are not aiming for good tuning or intonation at all with this, because again that will create tension. So we shake out the arm, polish the violin, focus in on a spot, put it up, shake it out, polish, focus in on a spot, use the head weight to help support the violin, and then we have a go at putting the bow on the string. And it will be quite wild and big at the start and really not focused in, and that's fine. And we can try different fingers. Now I'm deliberately doing it quite wild, so that we're not trying to refine it at this stage, because if we refine it too soon, we practice intention into the vibrato, that will then stay there, and it will be part of the vibrato technique, which is what we don't want. So we're aiming for big, wide, loose vibrato. So we shake out the arm, polish the violin, focus in with some blue tack, and the upper arm is, the lower arm is rocking between the finger that's placed on the fingerboard and the thumb, but the top of the arm stays nice and loose. Make sure, keep checking for tension, and then go for it with the bow. And yeah, that's it. And then what will happen is that when we're doing normal playing and we've got a sort of long sustained note, perhaps on a second finger or third finger, suddenly a vibrato will just happen, and it will be amazing, and then you'll tense and it will go again, and then it will come through, and slowly we'll get more control over it, and it will start to be an artistic element of our playing that we can add in.